is Laura. I do many different things. I own a marketing consulting agency. I also do event production. I do artist relations, product placement, brand partnerships, many other things as well. Growing up, my mom and dad both had corporate jobs. Right after my parents got divorced, my dad went and started his own company. He started a contracting business. And I didn't get to see too much of it, but I definitely got a little bit of that entrepreneurial spirit from him. I had no idea what I was doing at all. I literally started the company on a whim. I had a job I worked at a music management company for a little bit, and then I was working for a popular clothing brand in LA, and I was doing marketing and artist relations for that company, and I ended up getting a client through a referral for product placement for dresses. And the owner of the company told me that he couldn't pay me unless I had an LLC. And so I started an LLC, and then when I quit the other company, I didn't really know what I was gonna do at all. For a little while, I had that one client, and I had read this book called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. And in it, there's something called the law of Dharma, and he says the way to find your purpose is to ask the question, how do I use my unique gifts and talents in service to the world? And so I just started praying on that over and over and over, and slowly but surely things just started to happen. I threw an event. I'm a huge Biggie Smalls fan, and so I'd always wanted to do an event to celebrate his life and his legacy. And so I did that. That was the first event I had ever thrown. And through that, just more and more opportunities started to come up. People would see something and say, oh, I want you for this. I need your help on this. And then eventually it just grew and grew, and now I'm here. I've been in LA for 6 years now. When I moved there, I didn't know anybody. And again, I just had this mentality of how may I be of service. And so when I was at the music management company, I started there. Wasn't making any money at all. Same thing even at the next job, at a lower level position. And my question just every day was, how can I serve? How can I help? What can I do? So if I was doing a collab with an artist, I would make sure every single person was taken care of, from the managers to the assistants to the door people, no matter what it was. It was just, how can I help you? What can I do? And how can we kind of collaborate on stuff? And from there, it's funny because there's a lot of situations where I feel like I got sunned a little bit at the time, but then the relationships I built in that process came back years later, and I got blessed with things that just seemingly fell out of the sky. But yeah, they came from, those relationships, and I think the most important thing with relationships is that everything that you're doing is authentic. I think a lot of times people are like, all right, the phrase I hate more than anything in the world is, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I hate it because I feel like that mentality, like when you're giving to get, it just doesn't work. It has ill intentions, and it just feels weird to me. So for me, I'm like, what can I do and how can I do it from the purest place? And when you put that out, the things that come back are 100-fold. Oh yeah, there's so many internal struggles that you deal with when you decide to go after something that you really want. I mean, negativity and self-doubt and just questioning everything. I mean, my passion was always hip-hop, and being a white girl from Rhode Island and not having any connections, not having any access my whole entire life to the industry, I was like, can I do this? Will I ever be taken seriously? Do I have what it takes? And it wasn't a question of intelligence or creativity or any of that. I think it was just, I don't know, it's that feeling of like, is this possible? Because growing up, you see these things as being so far away or so far off, and the way that even the entertainment industry is kind of portrayed to us, it's larger than life, and it's just not like that in real life. When you're in LA and you're actually working with people and doing stuff, it's very different than what I thought it was. And I think a lot of people don't even start going after what they really want because the dream seems so big and far away. And that fear just keeps that, you're in that cycle of, oh my God, is it possible? Is it possible? But when you take those little baby steps, you look back after a couple years and you're like, oh my God, how did all this happen? So I don't believe in competition. at all. Some people have an issue with that. I've seen that with clients before. I've had people say, we want you to work with us and just us. I'm like, why would I give you all my juice so that, so I can build your company? When to me, even if I'm working with your cannabis brands and then I have another cannabis brand, or I have this artist or that artist, there's so much to go around. I don't believe in the lack mentality. And I think when you come from that, that pure place, it's like you just get blessed and blessed and blessed. When it comes to women, women are one of my biggest passions. I think that as I've gotten older and I've lived in different cities, I've seen how the industry is and how the world is. I think that for a long time and even right now, there's this thing in society that kind of tells women, okay, you have to look this way, you have to be this beautiful, and when you hit this age, you're not worthy anymore. And as you get older, your worth goes down, or you're like, don't speak, you should be seen, not heard. Like just these things that are really, really stupid. And I think I grew up around such strong women. I have 2 sisters that are incredible. I have the most amazing mother in the world, grandmothers that I don't even know how I got them, like just the most amazing, genuine people with pure, pure hearts. And the same thing with my friends. Grew up, my best friend when I was a child was just so loving and so supportive. And so I think that was just my expectation, and that was the place that I came from. And so when I meet women, my first thing is, how can I help? How can I serve? What can we do together? What are your dreams? What are you trying to do? Like, we're in this together. And I don't know, I would never want to be on my own. I would never want to be in competition. I would never want to look at someone and say, oh my God, I want what you have. I can't have it, because I know I can have it. And I think the other reason I've never felt in competition is because I feel like my goals and my dreams and the things that God has placed in my heart are so specific to me that who would I be in competition with? Like, it doesn't even make sense. So there's a few things. So aside from, the stuff that I do with my business, whether it's marketing, events, artist relations, that type of stuff, the things that I'm super passionate about, I have 3 things. It's the Penny Lane Project, a project that I have that is an interview series called Hip Hope, which merges hip hop and spirituality, which is what I feel like my purpose is in life. And then also Pill and the Peanut Butter, which is a meditation mixtape. And so for that one, my partner and I went back through old interviews of people that inspire us: Lauryn Hill, Jay-Z, J. Cole, Big Sean, Alicia Keys, Tupac, and Kendrick Lamar. And we chopped up their interviews to make sort of like a meditation. Oprah and Deepak Chopra have a meditation series that's about 20 minutes long. It's Oprah talking in the beginning and then Deepak. And so we kind of modeled it after that, where we have the artist speaking and then we speak after that and lead the people into the meditation. And we have it over stripped down samples of their beats. So, like a really classic Fugees beat, take the drums out and just have them kind of talking over it so that people can, and the reason it's called Pill and the Peanut Butter is because we're trying to put something that's healthy and good for you wrapped up in a tasty package, basically, because a lot of people say, oh, I can't meditate, I don't know how to do it. And if you just sit there sometimes and you just try, or you just listen to something that's inspiring and motivational, your whole entire life will start to change. But it's like, how do you get that person to sit down? How do you hook them? How do you get them to, okay, I will do this? And when you're hearing Lauren or you're hearing Jay and he's talking about real shit that you relate to, you don't even realize you're meditating by the end, but you start to see those changes internally. I am of the belief that we have more power now than we've ever had, in our entire lives. We're more connected than we've ever been before. And I think a lot of people are flailing and are saying, oh my God, how do I get this car? How do I get these shoes? How do I basically keep up with the Joneses? Where I feel like if you take a different approach to it and a more creative approach, like, all right, God, what can I create? What can I build? Like, what do you want me to do? Basically, from a bigger standpoint, I think the things that we can create will really be life-changing. I think we have more power than we even possibly know. And I think especially starting with women and kind of uniting amongst ourselves and then obviously bringing the men in too is so powerful and so important.